Question 34, we're asked to work out 28% of 650. Now let me just quickly show you two different ways to tackle this. So I can write out 28% like this. 28 per cent is 100. The of becomes a times, and 650 goes here. Now I can tackle it this way, where I've got a fraction and a whole number. And what did we say about tackling this? We can write 650 as 650 over 1. And why do we do that? Because we can have a fraction here. So we have one fraction times another fraction. And multiplying two fractions is very easy. You simply multiply the numerators and the denominators. So I can go down this route. Now the other route I can go down, which we'll work out, is to work out 10%. And how do we work out 10%? We divide by 10. Now one other trick we need is to work out 1%. And this is where you have to be careful. To work out 1%, we divide by 100. Be careful, you don't divide by 1, you divide by 100, because 1% is smaller than 10%. So let's try this route. So let me write 650 here. And we want to work out 10%. So we divide it by 10. Now the rule for dividing a number that ends in 0 by 10, you simply cross off the 0. So the answer is 65. So 10% of 650 is 65. So let me do that here. 10% is equal to 65. And how much do I want in total? 28%. So my next step would be to add another 10%. Now I need to work out 8%. And the way I'm going to do it is to work out 1% and multiply it by 8. So I want to work out 1%. So it will be 650 divided by 100. And let me write that number here, 650. So with any whole number, the decimal point is always here. It's to the right of the last digit or the ones column. So now all this is going on in your head. You have your decimal point there. And now when you divide by 100, you move the decimal place 2 places because you have 2 zeros here. So this is going to go 1, 2. Now the decimal point has moved here. So this can disappear now. Now this is my number, 6.50. So I can simply write that as 6.5. So the answer to this here, 650 divided by 100 is 6.5. And you have to be careful not to lose your decimal point. Now my next step is, I know what 1% is, 6.5, but I'm after 8%. So what I have to do is 6.5 times 8. Now you have a decimal and a whole number. I don't like working with decimals. I find it difficult. So what I tend to do to make it easy, I'll move the decimal point to the right one place. So this 6.5 becomes 65 times 8. Now that is my calculation. I'll do that here in column multiplication. Now I do 8 times 5, which is 40. So I put 0 down and I carry the 4 to the next column. Now I do 8 times 6, which is 48. plus this 4 that I've carried over is 52. So I put the 2 down and I carry the 5 over to the next column. I write it straight down because I've finished. There's nothing else to do there. So it's 520. Now remember this step that I did here, the extra step? Now I have to undo that. So I now need to move my decimal point back one place. And what did we say? The decimal point is here, to the right of the ones column, and I simply move the decimal point back to here. So my answer is 52.0, which is the same as 52. So I now know 8% is 52. Now let me rub this out. So let me look at this carefully. 10% plus 10% is 20%. Plus this 8% is 28%. And that's what I'm after. So that's the 28%. Now I simply need to add these three numbers that I've worked out. So 5 plus 5 is 10, plus 2 is 12. I put the 2 down and I carry the 1 to the next column. 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 5 is 17, plus the 1 I've carried over is 18. So I put the 8 down and I carry the 1 to the next column, and I can write that straight down because I've finished. So my answer is 182. So 28% of 650 is equal to 182. Now, if you decide to do the question this way or this way, it doesn't matter, as long as you're careful and you show your solution.